The August 27, 2018 meeting of the Public Safety Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk call the roll, please?
Mr. Elkoffer? Here. Chairwoman Boyce?
Here.
Mrs. Conley? Here. Mr. Delahanty?
Here.
Ms. Harris?
Here.
Mr. Mafucci?
Here.
Mr. Shepard?
Here.
Mr. Terp?
Here.
Mr. Zal is excused. President Carbone?
Here.
Next item on the agenda is the public forum. Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
Does anybody in the chambers like to address the committee? Seeing none, next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. They'll stand approved. And they'll be, unless you notify the clerk before the end of the day, those are the committee meetings, or the notes from committee meeting of July 23rd, 2018. Next item on the agenda is the new business. Madam Clerk, first item on the agenda.
Referral 18-0228.
Moved by President Carbone, seconded by Legislator Conley. Discussion on the matter. Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item on the agenda.
Referral 18-0229.
Moved by Legislator Conley, seconded by Legislator Elkoffer. Discussion on the floor. Legislator Mafucci.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to the administration, what was the number of indigent clients served over the past year?
We'll wait until Mr. Donaher gets to this.
Through the chair, the Monroe County Public Defender's Office represented approximately 20 to 21,000 clients last year in about 27,000 cases.
Thank you. Through you to the administration, has the county ever had to turn any indigent clients away? And if so, for what reason?
Through the chair, if the clients meet our income eligibility guidelines, we cannot turn them away. We are required to represent them.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item passes. Next item on the agenda.
Referral 18-0230.
Moved by Moved by Legislator Elkoffer, seconded by Legislator Terp. Questions on the floor? Yes, Legislator Shepard.
Yes, to the administration, to the chair. What is our current backlog?
Good evening, John Clark from the Crime Laboratory. Through the chair, the current backlog and the multiple sections, I'll give you the numbers for each section. Trace evidence section, there are 72 case backlog. The drug section, there is a 3,200 case backlog. Firearms section, 2,100 cases, and DNA, 629.
Thank you. Also, through the chair to the administration, do we expect to hire any additional staff in the crime lab?
Through the chair, we do have one vacancy that we are filling, and we just hired 2 people in the last few weeks.
And finally, through the chair to the administration, do we expect to receive any additional federal funds to help us with the backlog?
Through the chair, we recently received a federal DNA grant, which has been repeating each year, and we anticipate that going forward in the future that we will get more federal aid for DNA.
Thank you.
Any further questions? I just have one. Can you talk about your prioritizing the cases that are coming through? So you've got some backlogs, obviously, in some areas. How are you prioritizing those?
Through the chair, we work very closely with the agencies to prioritize each of the cases. Obviously, violent cases coming first, or violent crimes coming first. Then working with the district attorney's offices, prioritizing cases that have tight deadlines for trial dates.
Thank you very much. Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Item passes. Next item on the agenda,
Referral 18-0231.
moved by Legislator Turp, seconded by Legislator Delahanty. Questions on the floor? Yes, Legislator
Chair,
Alcoffer? I wanted to, for the record.
yes, through the chair.
Yes.
I'm curious, how do you get the message out to their schools? Is it through visiting the school, individual schools, or literature, or TV, whatever?
Through the chair, this grant, this is Jenny Verhagen from Central Police Services. This grant funds one person, so she has a list of contacts at all the schools, but primarily it's repeat, the same teacher usually calls and asks for classes every year. But she does do other events as well, neighborhood events, health fairs. She does 2 bike rodeos with Delta Sonic. So she can't really take on anymore, even if we had a better marketing strategy for it, I don't think.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, other questions on the floor? I'll let you guys go, but go ahead. Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. To the administration, I'd like to know a little bit more of how the program is carried out, as far as your marketing plan. And then is there a list of locations, through the chair to the administration, is there a list of locations that you can share with us for the events, for the upcoming events that you have?
Well, through the chair, it varies every year according to the schedules and how she can fit into the schools and all the events and if she's available. So there's not really a publicized list anywhere because it could vary all the time. Usually they initiate contact with her, and so sometimes, it depends on how her availability. It could be the next day, it could be 2 weeks, could be 6 months out. So.
To the administration, to the chair, when you say they, do you mean anyone who's interested in the training or program, the community education program? Is it particular schools?
So she does a lot, through the chair, she does a lot of school type programs, but she does pedestrian safety, she does seatbelt safety, she does there's all kinds of different programs. They're actually all on our website, and there's actually different videos and available things that she can also provide to people.
To the chair of the administration, is there, like, if we had an agency that would like to request her to come out, what is the process for that? Is that something that's listed on the website where we can send in a request, or?
Through the chair, her contact information is on the website, but you could contact her directly in her office.
Okay.
Her name's Jean Triest.
Oh, okay. Due the chair to the administration, has there been a reduction in accidents or incidents related to the information that you guys send out?
Well, through the chair, we look at the total Monroe County motor vehicle related crashes and fatalities and all the type of data. There's nothing, evidence-based that her programs necessarily caused the reduction, so there's nothing to connect it. But for example, the total number of crashes in 2016 was 13,800, and in 2017 it was 13,190. She also looks at crashes with injuries, fatalities. So there's all different numbers up and down.
Okay, and finally, to the chair, to the administration, just want to comment that I just wanted to make sure it was the program that I thought it was. I wasn't sure if it was a separate program, so I'm familiar with Jean. She does great work in the community. I've worked with her with the car seats, but I didn't know if it was something different, so thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome. That's another, she also does the child passenger safety type training too. Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Any other questions on the floor? I just have a question. With regards to this, it sounds like there's so much to do, and so I'm assuming, but I won't want to assume, but I assume that she does this in collaboration with other agencies. She must work with other agencies to try to get the message out as well.
Through the chair, we actually have She actually trains, like a lot of the ambulances do for child, and police departments have child passenger safety. They for the seats, they can do the fitting station, so she trains them. She has all kinds of material that if she can't make an event, she can get her handouts or coloring books for the kids or whatever to people if they request it as well. So,
Okay. All right, that might be helpful. So, all right, thank you very much. All right, any other questions? No? Seeing none? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Item passes. Next item on the agenda.
Referral 18-0232.
Move it, Madam Chairwoman. Second.
Moved by Legislator Delahanty, seconded by President Carbone. Item, questions on the floor? Yes, Legislator Harris.
Chair, to the chair, through the chair to the administration, I'd like to know who else has responded to the RFQ?
Through the chair, Todd Wersinger, Deputy Chief Probation Officer, and also co-chair of the reentry, Monroe County Reentry. The current provider was the only applicant in the last round.
Through the chair to the administration, is that consistently every year that they're only applicant?
Through the chair, in the history of the program, there have been other applicants. By recollection, I think Catholic Family Center had put in. This time they did not. It's a very difficult population, and to be honest, we're not getting numerous different agencies seeking to do this work.
Thank you. To the chair, through the chair to the administration, does this contract include oversight of no weapons policy for parolees as well?
Through the chair, I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
Does this contract include oversight of a no weapons policy for parolees?
They are prohibited from having weapons as part of their release conditions. This program, though, is more so to provide assistance to the clients, to help them in a variety of areas, from housing to employment to education, and a number of evidence-based programs to help them make better decisions down the line.
Through the chair to the administration, when you say housing, what type of housing? Is it like, are they placed permanently, or are they placed temporary housing, like, or transitional housing?
Through the chair, ultimately, the goal is stable housing, and there are also, there's a connection through Delphi with health homes, where if they have either physical or mental illness, they may be eligible for some assistance with housing. And again, it can, ultimately, the goal is stable housing.
Thank you. And my final question is, what are the recidivism rates? Through the chair to the administration.
Thank you.
What are the recidivism rates, and how many intakes were done last year?
So, with regards to this particular grant, actually the outcome being sought is not recidivism. It's actually the number of clients that they get through an intake process, retention after 45 days. So this program is not using recidivism as a measure of success. It's more so the contacts and getting people involved in programs that, through evidence and research, have proven to be helpful in reducing recidivism. In a general sense, I believe, based on some Department of Corrections documents, that the average is about 52% recidivism rate. But that's not being tracked through this particular grant.
Through the chair to the administration, I think you trailed off at the last, and I didn't hear your last statement.
I'm sorry, that in general, with probation in New York State, there's approximately a 52% recidivism rate, but those aren't statistics associated with this particular program.
Through the chair, please.
Through the
Thanks.
chair, and I
Thank
apologize.
you. It's all right.
Through the
Thank
chair
you.
to the administration. So just to be clear, you guys at the county level do not track the recidivism rate at all, particularly in connection to this this program or even outside the program?
Through the chair, that is correct.
Okay.
What we track is the number of clients that are engaged, retained for periods of time, and also enrolled in some of these evidence-based programs.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Legislature.
The chair, what is the percent of parolees that actually take advantage of the program compared to the parolees that are out there?
Through the chair, goals are set with a target population of engaging 442 newly released parolees living in Monroe County, and then there's 4 interim measures, which are the intake, so that's the initial contact with the client, clients who stay in the program for 45 days, and clients who are enrolled in cognitive behavioral intervention, and lastly, clients who complete CBI programs, which are cognitive behavioral interventions. And we have, at this time, I believe, we had 454 intakes last year, and we're on track to meeting our goal of 442 this year also.
Through the chair, out of how many parolees that live in Monroe County? Are you aware of that number?
Oh, my God.
Through the chair, can you repeat the question?
The question was, through the chair, where our goal is 442, do we know how many parolees are living in Monroe County that could apply for this program or qualify?
Through the chair, I don't have that information available, but we could certainly provide that to you through our partners at Parole.
And then through the chair, is the goal of 442 due to the amount of funding that we have? So if we got more funding, we would be able to have more spots for qualification?
Through the chair, that's hypothetical, but correct.
Okay, thank you.
President Carbone, did you have a question for? No. I apologize. I didn't see your hand go up, so I apologize. All right. It's like being in an auction. You know who you see. With the paddle up. Yes, Legislator Mafucci.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to the administration, that last question kind of piqued my interest. This is obviously a program that's funded with grant money, and it sounds like it's very important. Is there any kind of a plan B should the grant go away?
Through the chair, without this program and prior to this program being in place, all of the resources and assistance that's given by the agency for reentry would have been done by the parole officers. And as you might be able to imagine, it'd be very difficult for them to provide those services without the assistance of the specialized and specially trained and service providers.
Thank you. I have one additional question through the chair to the administration. Is there a vehicle to create any type of a reserve so that if the program works and there's a diminishment in the grant, you can still continue to do this kind of thing effectively?
Yes. Through the chair, I want to emphasize that this is a state program, and Monroe County is simply the pass-through for the money that comes from New York State. And to further answer your question, yes, it would be certainly be if our hope that we could continue with these programs. However, the reality is if the money dries up, often the program dries up also.
Thank you.
Yes, Legislator Harris.
My final question is, through the chair to the administration, is since you don't have recidivism rates, what is the benchmark that you will know that this program actually works? We've been doing this for 13 years. How do we know that this program is working? What kind of tool are you using to track that?
Through the chair, all of the benchmarks are set by the state, and if you have a copy of the referral on page 2, it lists out what the goals are, and again, those are set by the state, not by us, but we have been meeting those goals as far as what they have laid out.
Thank you.
I have just one question through the chair, I'm the chair. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yes. All right. So tell me, we have $334,000. You have the reentry coordinator, and then it says that in addition, they will be serviced by case managers. And so how many case managers are assigned to specifically this task through Delphi? What have they committed to?
Through the chair, I'm not certain of the number of staff that they have.
Well, I mean, but what I'm getting down to is like of the numbers they're servicing 442 parolees, and so how many what's the caseload for each of the case managers, if you know?
Through the chair, I would request that we get back to you and give you that correct number.
Okay, that would be helpful. And then of your task force, do you have a list of the agencies that sit at the table for the task force that you could provide? I mean, not today, but could you provide those as well?
Through the chair, yes.
Thank you. Any further questions? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Item passes. And I guess that concludes. Is there any new business to come before the committee? All right, seeing none. Public safety is adjourned. And the next Public Safety Committee will be held on September 17th at 5:30 PM. Thank you.